Namaste, everybody. It's David Breen from Sharing Yoga. Welcome back to another online yoga class. Today, this week, this month, we're in Cape Town, South Africa. So you can go on your map or your globe or on your phone and kind of check out where that is. We've got a nice space for the next couple of weeks with a lot of beautiful natural light. Tiny bit of background noise, but nothing like India. So today is, I don't know what today is, I'm not even sure, Saturday, July, something or other. It's in the early morning, so we're going to do a morning practice. So what I'd like you to do is to come down onto the hands and knees and ease yourself back into child's pose to begin our practice today. So remember, in child's pose, you can have your knees close together or your knees wide apart. You can bring your feet close together if that feels okay. Just experiment with some of the different variations of child's pose. Perhaps you're bringing a little movement into your body, side to side, just moving the hips from left to right and then back from right to left. And then maybe settling in. Allow your breath to relax. And then from here, walk your fingers forward. And go ahead and come right up on your fingertips so that the palms of the hands are up off your mat. And then you'll gently press the fingertips into the mat and press your hips back. Begin to stretch things out lengthwise. And then go ahead and pick your head up off the ground a little bit. And you're looking straight down at the floor. And you may just turn your head left to right and right to left here. So you get a little bit of a warm up in the neck area. And then back to center. Allow the head to come back down and relax the arms back down onto the floor. Take a long, slow inhale. And a long, slow exhale. And then we'll come up onto the hands and knees. And so from here, we'll set up with the wrists just underneath the shoulders and the knees just underneath the hips in table pose. And in table pose today, we're just going to ease back toward child's pose, but we're not going to come all the way into child's pose. Keep looking forward at the hands, and inhale, come forward, and exhale, come back. So if this is bothersome to your knees, you want to either double up with your yoga mat. That's always a pretty good idea to help make the knees feel a little bit more comfortable. Or you can take your yoga mat onto a carpet. That'll give you a little bit of extra padding. And that'll work well for you for most of the practice, maybe with the exception of some balance poses. Exhale, coming back. And inhale, coming up, and then we'll pause here. Now we're going to inhale and look up, drop the belly down. And then as you exhale, drop the head and round the back. Inhale, look up, drop the belly down. Exhale, and drop the head and round the back. And you'll continue to move through this as we begin to warm up the muscles in the back, bringing more and more movement into the spine in two directions here. And then we'll come back to a neutral spine. So go ahead and walk your knees toward each other, feet are close together, and then ease yourself back towards your heels into hero pose here. So if this is really uncomfortable right off the bat, just ease the hips away from the heels and bring the weight into the hands. If it's comfortable, sit with the breath. And then we'll come forward onto the hands and knees again. So separate the knees about hip width apart. Bring your left leg up off the ground behind you, bend your left knee to about 90 degrees. And then you're going to square your hips toward the floor and then look up And then press that left foot up a little bit and breathe. And then we'll release and we'll switch. Right leg comes back, bend the knee, look forward, look up, press the sole of the right foot up as you turn the right hip down toward the floor to keep the hips square. Breathe in. Maybe experiment here with just shifting the weight forward at just another inch so that you can feel the weight in the heels of the hands. And then ease back here, and then we'll move back into hero pose. Now bring the arms out in front, and you'll make some circles with the wrists here. And then opposite direction. And then release. Hands come forward. And then you'll bring your left leg back again, and then you begin to rotate with the left ankle here, making some circles with the left foot. Opposite direction now with those circles. And then we'll release the left toes to the floor, and then hop the left foot over the right leg. So you still want to be up on those toes there. And then pay attention to where the weight's distributed here. Bring the weight forward into the heels of the hands. Then look out over the right shoulder. And allow the hips to relax to the left just a little bit. So you may be trying to isolate a stretch on the left side of your torso. Tighten up your left thigh, that's the straight leg, and when you have extended out back. And then think about or look at where your left heel is and just press it toward the right just a tiny bit. And then release. Bring the left knee down to the floor. Right leg comes out back, and remember, we'll work the ankle first in one direction. And then ankle in the opposite direction, some circles with that right foot. And then right toes to the floor. Hop it over the left leg. Bring the weight forward. You're going to look left and allow the hips just to press toward the right just a little bit. So it's more of a precision movement here versus how far we can push or lean into the pose. Tighten up the right thigh and then gently try to press the right heel toward the left-hand side. Breathe deep. And then release. We'll come back. Separate the knees. Bring the feet toward each other and ease yourself back toward child's pose. And we're going to move forward, and we're going to come face down on the mat. And we'll work with a couple of things here. The first one is we'll work with the lower back. You're going to bring the hands right underneath the shoulders. Turn your head to one side and bring your feet together, tops of the feet on the floor. And keep the tops of the feet on the floor and maybe engage your thighs a little bit. And then you're going to inhale, head comes up, turn the head to the opposite side, exhale, come down. Inhale, head comes up, opposite direction with your gaze, and then down. And then continuing on, inhale up, exhale, opposite side and down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Do two more. And then release. Let your legs relax. Bring the arms alongside the body for the time being. Let everything relax. Then from here, you're going to keep your heels together just for a moment. Separate the toes so they're wide apart. And then you're going to come up onto your toes like this. So your feet are about hip width apart. From here, you're going to bring the big toes together so they're touching. and keep the heels wide apart. So if you need a visual, go ahead and look up here. And then from here, you can have the hands wherever you want, alongside the body or here. Big toes are going to stay together, and then we'll do some leg curls nice and slow, like this. Good. So if you remember when you're at the gym, you're on one of these machines. Well, in the old days, you were laying down with this leg curl machine, but now they do it sitting. And it was to build up the leg muscles. This particular routine right here is to maybe bring some more elasticity into the IT bands. So it doesn't seem like anything's really stretching or happening in the body, but if you do this a couple times a week, you might be able to affect the IT band. Do just a couple more repetitions. And then we're going to release right there. And then plant your hands here, and we'll come back up onto the hands and knees. And we'll work with the hips. So slide your right knee to the center line of your mat. Bring the weight forward into the heels of the hands. I'm going to try to keep both arms straight here, so no bend in the elbow. The left knee comes out to the left-hand side, and then you're going to begin to make some circles out of the left hip. So bring your attention to your right elbow. A lot of the times you have the right elbow's bending, but you want to have both arms nice and straight. You can look forward now. And then pause and go in the opposite direction. And then we'll release. Slide the knees over to the opposite side. So now the left knee is in the center line of the mat. Weight comes forward. Right knee comes out to the right-hand side, and you begin to make some circles out of the right hip area. This time, being mindful of the left elbow and keeping it straight, keeping that left arm straight. Look forward. Pause, opposite direction. And release. We'll bring the knees together, feet together. Ease ourselves back toward the heels and here. We'll bring the arms out in front. And then this time, just movements of the hands and wrists like this, up and down. And then back to neutral, and then side to side, left and right. Shake out the hands. Come back onto the hands and knees. This time, drop your head so you're looking back towards your thighs, and slowly you'll make some circles with the head and neck. And then pause here and go in the opposite direction. Relax the head. Next, let's transition to seated. We'll come over to seated. You shake out your hands and wrists and fingers if you need to. And shake out your legs a little bit here. And we'll begin with a little bit of a twist. So you're going to point your toes up toward the ceiling. Gently press the back of the knees down toward the mat. Sit up nice and tall. Take the left hand toward the outside of the right thigh. Inhale, lengthen up, and exhale. Gentle twist and turn toward the right-hand side. So we're just finishing the warm-ups. You don't want to force anything. And then back to center, and then we'll switch sides over toward the left-hand side for a twist. Then back to center. And from here, we're going to come to a cross-legged position. Interlace the fingers out in front. Sit up nice and tall. Separate the wrists wide apart. Then you're going to inhale the arms
up overhead. Exhale, the hands come down. Inhale the arms up. And exhale down. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhaling and pause. And then as you exhale, bring the hands to the back of the head. Draw the chin up a little bit. Point the elbows straight ahead. Try to arch the back a little bit. And inhale, stretch the elbows back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Two more. And release. Now, release the hands here. Bring the hands back and lean the torso back. Bend your elbows and keep a little bit of bend in the elbows and then begin to squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. And then torso comes forward, arms come up overhead. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms up toward the ceiling. Inhale and lengthen and reach. As you exhale, come forward and out and down. And inhale, press back up. Exhale, forward and out and down. Inhale, back up. Exhale. Inhale. Next time you're coming down, you're going to release the hands. Release the chin toward the chest and then completely relax. And inhale, look forward. As you exhale, we'll transition back over onto the hands and knees, and we'll come into a downward facing dog next. We'll point the toes down to the floor and come up and back. When you get to down dog, just look back towards your feet, and you can lift your heels up off the ground, bend the knees and straighten the legs, whatever feels good to you this morning. Just settle into your down dog a little bit more. And then you can bring your attention to the top part or front part of the pose. The elbows are bent a little bit, and you're maybe moving your shoulders back and forth here a little bit, moving the torso back and forth a little bit. And then bend your knees and look forward, walk the feet forward. Have the feet hip width apart, knees are bent a little bit. Relax the arms and shake out the arms, and then relax the head and neck. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead, come to standing. Exhale the palms together, palms come down to the heart center. And just spend a couple breaths here with the eyes closed, pressing the palms together gently but firmly, and then concentrating on your breath. And we'll open the eyes and up the body. So let's turn sideways on our mat and bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart here. And we'll try a standing side stretch, but we'll bring a little bit of a balance challenge into it. So interlacing the fingers and bringing the arms up overhead, press the palms up. You can keep the chin or the head level. And then from here, once we're lengthened out, we're going to experiment with lifting those heels up off the ground a little bit and keeping the heels elevated. Even though we've still got both feet on the ground, it's a little bit challenging for the balance. Firm up your thighs a little bit, press to the palms of the hands, and then lean over to the right-hand side for a side stretch. And then we'll come back to center and over towards the left-hand side. pretty wide apart, make your feet parallel. Bring the left arm up to the left-hand side. Front of your thighs and press down to the soles of the feet, and then slide the right hand down and the left arm up and over. And when the focus comes to the left-hand side of the body here, the left thigh is nice and strongly engaged, and it's pushing the left foot into the floor. And then you're stretching the right fingers in the opposite direction. Not necessarily trying to get down over to the right-hand side, but more up through the left fingertips. Both legs are straight, both sides are engaged. Breath deep, deep, deep. Come back to center, and then transition to the opposite side. Right arm comes up and over, left hand slides down. Find yourself in the pose. Work on the alignment. Feet parallel, with the legs straight, with the thighs engaged. And then you can press the right foot into the mat with a little bit more effort. Stretch the right fingers up in the opposite direction. Inhale, come up. And exhale here. Go ahead and bend the knees a little bit. And then walk the feet back so they're hip width apart. Actually, let's learn each other tucking. And then interlace your fingers into a fist like this. Bring the arms up overhead. Press the knuckles up. Firm up the thighs. And then twist and turn toward the right hand side. Keeping the feet flat. Come back to center. And then the twist comes over toward the left hand side. And back to center. Deep breath in. Exhale, release it out. Bring the feet wide apart again. Keep the feet parallel, and then you're going to bend the knees and maybe put the forearms right above the knees on the lower part of the thigh. And then take the right hand to the right knee and thigh, and then you're going to twist and turn toward the right hand side with the knees bent. I'm gently pressing down with my left forearm into my left leg for a little bit of leverage. And then I'm trying to arch my back a little bit, get a little bit deeper into this twist. And then release back to center on the first side. This is where the left kind of arch the back, and there's a little bit of leverage with that right forearm into the right leg. And then come back to center. Now from here, relax your head, drop your fingertips toward the floor, and slowly begin to straighten your legs. And if your legs don't straighten, don't worry about it. Just grab onto opposite arms and then straighten the legs. But if your legs can be straight and your fingertips on the floor, and your head is relaxed, begin to engage the thigh muscles a little bit, and then lean some of the weight forward toward the front of the feet, not so that the heels connect. Long, slow inhale. Long, slow exhale. Bring your hands back to the hips. Bring the shoulder blades toward each other. Inhale and come up. Exhale here. You're going to turn your right toe toward the front of your mat. Take your left foot out to the side. And we're going to come into warrior one leg position. We're going to bend into that right knee. The right knee is somewhat over the right ankle. The left toes are turned forward about halfway, at about 45 degree angle. Take your right hand now and place it just on the right knee and thigh. And then make a nice gentle twist with the left hand. And then you're going to rotate this around in a circle here. In the opposite direction. Interlace your fingers within the arms up overhead. Begin to from the left